keep me going all day, yeah. Somebody, somebody, somebody gotta do it. Somebody, somebody, somebody gotta do it.
Welcome to another episode of SGDITALKS. My name is Yusuf Jai. I am the host, and today we have three amazing panelists here with us today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves first, and I'm going to bring it back to the top, and then we're going to introduce the topic.
Hi, my name is Drea. I am 24 years old. I just turned 24, that's why I forgot.
Okay.
I am first generation American. I grew up in Trinidad.
Okay.
I was born here, but when I was 4 months, I went to Trinidad and I came back up here when I was 9. So I got me a little bit of culture.
Okay.
And then I moved back up here. I recently graduated from community college with my associates in arts. I was a theater major. And yeah, that's it.
Nice.
My name is Jennifer Native. I'm 24. I was born in Mali, and I am first generation because I am the first out of my family to go to school here and graduate college.
Wow.
I graduated from LaSalle University. Rest in peace, Hope. 2018.
Rest in peace, Hope.
I graduated with my bachelor's in public health, and then I just graduated from Widener University this past May with my bachelor's in nursing. I'm the oldest of 4 children. I came here when I was 2 years old. My mom is from Mali. I was born in Bamako, Mali, and my dad's from Burkina Faso.
Okay.
What else? I speak Bambara. I speak French, English, and yeah, I'll be going back for my doctorate in about 2 years.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to, eventually open up a clinic. So in the meantime, live my 20s because I don't seem to know how to do that.
You on the right path, though. That's a good resume right there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm Sharice Karn, or CC. I'm 27 years old. I'm American, which I'm the oldest of 4. I have a 4-year-old. I'm a college dropout, but I own my dance school, CC School of Dance Arts. We've been in business for 4 years, so I teach ballet, jazz, hip hop, technical styles of dance to children ages 3 through 18. So yeah, I used to be a professional dancer. I was in college for early education. I dropped out of school to go on tour with Meek Mills, and then once I got pregnant with my son, that's when I opened my dance studio.
Nice. Y'all got unique stories. I love it. So my first question for you guys is, being first generation, what inspired you guys to do what you do, knowing it's never really been done before in your position?
I would say I wasn't really inspired. I felt pressured to do everything that I did, like going to college, just fulfilling the American dream that my family wanted for me and not necessarily what I wanted for myself. Like going to school, I wanted to go to school, but college just was not for me. But I did it, I got my degree because that's what my mother and my grandmother wanted. And I'm first generation American, so I didn't want to disappoint them, So first generation American, first generation to go to school and get my degree.
Wow.
As for me, kind of piggybacking off of Dre, is the same thing. My mom kind of set my life up as a to-do list. Like, you have to fulfill these certain goals in this certain amount of time. And then they will fuel that with constantly telling me stories about, like, I remember when I would get in trouble. I talk a lot, and I always got in trouble in school for talking a lot, running my mouth. It was just always me. So my dad would, tell me to come here, because my mom yells a lot. My dad would just tell me to come here. He's very calm. And he would just tell me how he had to walk to school with no shoes. Wow. He would carry his book in the rain, and he would walk for, sometimes 10 miles. He came from the village, so his family didn't really have, always the means to feed him breakfast. So he said, you have everything set up for you. Your parents drop you off. I would drive sometimes once I came of age. Everything is set up for you. Your mom is paying your tuition. Why are you fooling around? You have no excuse. There are a lot of people your age from your same background that don't have what you have. So you need to like give us a reason for why we're putting in this much effort. And my mom, education was number one for her. So she said, even if you don't have anything else, as long as you have education, nobody could take that away from you. Nobody could ever take your knowledge away from you. So having those stories and eventually, once I came of age, kind of fueling myself, I heard a lot of no's along my road. And I'm somebody that when I hear no, I feel like it's like a fire inside of me that's like, I really gotta achieve it because you told me no. I don't like hearing no. So even if it takes me a year, it takes me 5 years, time don't matter as long as I get it done. And being first generation, I have 3 siblings under me that watch everything I do. My sister watches everything I do. She's only 2 years younger than me. The other 2, literally, stuff I would say, they would repeat. But she would be like, oh, why I can't do this? Jennifer did that. So I had to realize that you're setting this example aside from your family. Like, your siblings are watching every single thing you do. So you got one shot, and you got to make it work.
Right.
So, I'm going to piggyback off of both of y'all. I'm glad I went last. I definitely would say the pressure. For me, the pressure was my mother and my grandmother put me through dance school. And that was a huge investment for them. And I feel like the entire time I was in dance school, it's kind of like poured into you that dancers don't make a lot of money. So my pressure was how I could take their investment and make something out of it that was worth the money that they didn't have, that they put into my lessons. And then also, I'm the oldest. I have 3 younger siblings. So again, they watch everything that I do. And I feel like even for my parents, I'm kind of like the test dummy, but I can't crash, if that makes sense. Like, I'm the test dummy, but I still have to do everything the right way. And then I say I'm a college dropout because I didn't want to go to school. Like, I wanted to move to LA and dance and have that little thing, but my parents wanted something for me to fall back on. So I was pressured to go to school. I was pressured to do things that I feel like stunted my growth in terms of my dancing and my business. But like, I'm thankful for it. But again, to piggyback off of that, I think because I went to school and then I decided like, no, I'm gonna be a business owner. My siblings are kind of doing the same thing. They went to college, but they're no longer in college. The 2 that are grown, they also have businesses. So I kind of started, I guess, the hope for my family of like, we don't have to follow the typical go to college, get a career, and build your way up. It's kind of like, you know, we can make our mark and do whatever we want to do and still make money.
Okay, so I want to jump ships because y'all all brought up your parents too, as far as like what they want y'all to do. Do y'all like fear letting them down?
Yes.
Is that a big deal to y'all? Do y'all fear letting your parents down?
Yeah.
Y'all explain on that, elaborate on that more?
Well, for me, like, so my dad is very quiet. And my mom is the loud, kind of like chihuahua. So that's the best way to explain it. So like when I see, I'm emotional. When I see either of them like shed a tear or cry, like on my way to school, like it like shuts down my whole world because it's like I realize that they just put in so much from like when we first came here. And so when we first came here, we came to New York like most immigrants do, and you know, sleeping on the floor. She would take us, she was braiding hair, she used to have a shop, so braiding hair, still taking us to school on multiple trains while my dad was in Philly, you know, staying with relatives and, you know, just leaving the life you know back home where you have so much family, you have so much support, you have kind of whatever you need, and coming here and just like just going by the faith of God, by the faith of Allah, that He'll guide you and you know provide for your family, like, and having nothing else but hope. Me on the other hand, like I have hope, but I have like concrete things. I have support, I have family, and I had what I needed to ensure that I would succeed. It was like when I saw those tears, it was like, all right, but you really gotta get it together. Like you don't have no excuse. You don't have no excuse. And yeah, so for me, it's seeing it on their faces.
Right. I could definitely relate to that too.
For me, yes, it's a huge thing for me to not disappoint my mom and my grandma, specifically because they've made so many sacrifices for me that I can't even begin to pay them back for. Like when I was a kid, my mom sent me to Trinidad, which was a huge sacrifice for her because she wasn't able to raise me. So she sent me for somebody who was able to raise me and brought me back up here when she was able to. And even still, when she brought me back up, she still had to make a bunch of sacrifices because then I had a little brother too. And she wasn't, financially stable and stuff, but she made a hell of a lot of sacrifices along with my grandma. So I feel like I cannot, there's no way that I can disappoint them. The least I can do is get a degree because that's what they brought me up here for. My grandma always rubs in my face, you're American, you're born here, you got all the opportunities that everybody else don't. So take advantage of them and
that could be a lot to kind of take on. I can imagine that type of pressure. And our parents, well, just parents in general, when they come to this country and work 2 jobs, do whatever they can do to make ends meet, they kind of do sacrifice to put us in a better position. But with that being said, I'm a first generation born myself. I know the immense pressure we put on ourselves too as well. So can y'all talk about the pressure y'all put on yourself, not from anybody else, just because we are our own biggest critic. What type of pressure do y'all put on yourself to succeed? Because if you don't, it's deemed to be like a failure for coming here. So what type of pressure do y'all put on yourself?
I think I put pressure, to go with both questions, I think I put pressure on myself because I don't want to let my parents down. But I think the pressure becomes when I don't necessarily agree with the pressure that they put on me. I feel like I spent a lot of my life trying to follow their dreams for me or follow their rules, and even to the point of I'm a business owner, but they still think I should have a 9 to 5.
Or 9 to 5.
Yeah. So it's the struggle between trying to make them happy and trying to make myself happy. But I think maybe because I'm a little older, I think I'm finally at the point where it's I gotta break out of it and do what I gotta do so it can make sense. I feel like if I keep trying to live through them or do what they want me to do, I'm never gonna fulfill what I or what God has out for me. It might not be the same plan all the way as our parents. So I think with age or maturity or time, eventually your own pressure becomes a little heightened over what your parents have for you.
That's a good perspective.
For me, I think my breaking point was when I realized that my mental health started to become in jeopardy, and it just came to a point where not even religion, no matter what nobody else was saying, mattered. It was just all right, I gotta look within me and what matters to me. And then that's when I started to focus more on my religion. That's when I started to focus on, okay, well, what do you want in addition to what your parents want for you? So then I think it was after my first undergrad, my first degree, that I realized I had to cut out all the outside noise, because there's a lot of people that are watching you, especially nowadays with social media, that you feel and I always say this all the time, Instagram is a place where you can be whoever you want to be. You could be absolutely whoever you want to be. And 9 times out of 10, let me say 8 or 7 times out of 10, that's not the life that people are living. So you're trying to live up to something that isn't even real.
Right.
So once I realized that, you're trying to attain something that isn't even reality, what are you doing? Make your own goals, achieve your own goals, and pat yourself on the back, and whoever's supposed to be a support system will be there when you need them. As you start to get older, you start to really weed out. You weed out people, you weed out their intentions, and you weed out who's really for you. Nursing school really taught me that, who was for me and who wasn't, because that was the hardest journey I ever went through. So my parents and my family will always be there for me, and then I have my set group of friends, and everybody else is just kind of bystanders. So
period.
you gotta want to do it for yourself, like, because at the end of the day, like, and I tell my sister this all the time, you could try to do everything for mom and dad, but one day they're gonna be gone. My dad remind me that every day. He said, I could die tomorrow. I'm not young. I could die tomorrow. What are you gonna do when I'm gone? You have to live your life and you have to do it for yourself. So I think that's the motivation. Like, once I realized that mental health was more important than trying to achieve and attain what everybody else wants for me, that's when I kind of came full circle.
I think the pressure I put on myself now is just proving to them that I don't have to do things the traditional way. As far as, like, my whole family is Christian. We were all once Catholic and we turned Christian, and I'm first generation Muslim. So that just threw everything off. They were just like, what is this? Like, what are you doing? You can't just make that decision type of thing. And yes, I can. I'm grown now, and they don't like to hear I'm grown now. So I spent a lot of time trying to prove to them I don't have to do things the traditional way, like I said. Like, at first I kept saying I wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor or a judge or something like that, because that's what I was hearing all my cousins say. And then eventually I was like, Mom, I want to be an actress. That's what I want to do. There's no stopping me, because I know in my mind, like, since I was a kid, this is what I want to do. I was putting on the front because that's what everybody else was saying. She was like, okay. I told my grandma said, okay, but what else? You got to have something to back it up. And I was just like, okay, I mean, if I get my degree with acting, I can become an acting teacher. And she was like, okay, I guess. And then I would be telling, like, friends of the family what I want to do, and they're like, what? You don't want to be a lawyer or something? So a lot of it, like I said, is to prove to them that the way I'm going about things is not the wrong way. It's just not the traditional way. It's my decisions, and it's not going to lead me down a wrong path. It's just a different path, and it's good for me. It may not be what y'all wanted or had in mind for me, for my future, but it's a good thing.
Wow. I mean, it takes a lot of courage and determination for y'all to even have that mentality and that mindset. And I commend y'all for it, because in order to have a better tomorrow, we need to have a good today. So I do commend y'all for that. And we talked about, first generation. Now I just want to know, what is the American dream to y'all? Because that could be subjective to everybody. So what is y'all definition of the American dream?
Good question.
So
There you go. There we go.
So for me, the American dream is taking all the resources that are provided in this country, and then taking your background, like a teacher always told me, my 4th grade teacher, Miss Holloway, rest in peace, she told me that you have to know where you come from to know where you're going. So taking your background, taking your roots, taking your history, and taking the resources, and then taking your future and putting it all together into a plan. You don't have to do everything that people in this country are doing. But I also think the positivity of America is, although we don't often shed positive light on it, it's a country of immigrants. We come from so many different backgrounds, so many different walks of life, and we're able to learn from each other. And so just kind of starting your own path and realizing that I got friends from absolutely everywhere. People often think that, especially in the Malian community, that they all kind of stick together, but no, like, I've been grateful enough to have friends from every single background you could possibly think of, every race, every culture, every religion. So kind of taking them and their culture, my culture, the resources that this country provides for us, not just financially, education, access to health care, just the ability to kind of do whatever you want, and then just going for it. Because in America, although we are kind of stopped, especially as a black woman, a black African woman, a black Muslim African woman, there are a lot of obstacles, but then realizing that with those obstacles, although we don't see it on the news, there are a lot of hands reaching out to help you along the way. So making sure that you don't have too much pride and you're willing to take that help, and you'll get to where you have to go.
I love it. That's a gem right there.
That was dope. I'm gonna say my American dream probably changes all the time, but I think currently my goal is to, again, like take the resources for my siblings and my son and just kind of like reprogram my family, because like college and certain things are great and certain resources are great. For certain things, I feel like you kind of need that educational piece, but also like on the financial, I know nobody in my family has started a business or a legal business and things like that. So just reprogramming our mindset around money and like wealth and like being able to provide certain things for my son that my parents couldn't give me, even if they wanted to. So just, starting with my siblings and starting with him, just being smarter about money, about credit, about the future, things that school doesn't really teach us, is my goal to kind of implement in their lives and in their brains, so that, if they go to college or when they graduate high school, whatever they decide, that they're fully equipped to do, whatever they want. I know a lot of, because I'm American, like a lot of other families, like they provide things for their kids or their grandkids, or they leave stuff in each other's names, or like I want to be able to do that. And even if I can't physically be the person to do that, to educate somebody else in my family so that they can, set our future, us up for a more strong start.
I love it.
I think my
Right.
is I think it's just to be successful at whatever I really decide to do at the end, and then share my gems with everybody else that's like me, everybody else that's Muslim, everybody else that's Black, Trinidadian, and women in general. Like to just open the door for all those people who have not stepped their foot in those doors because they were scared or because their family was holding them back. I want to be that light for people who haven't been able to step into those places, because once they see me, they're like, okay, she's Black, she's Muslim, she's Trinidadian, oh, I am too, I can do it too. So I want to be successful in whatever I decide to do and just open the door for everybody else.
Wow, yes. I love it, man. I can't wait to see what the future holds for all of you guys. Like, if nobody told y'all this before, I'm proud of y'all.
Oh,
Thank you.
You guys need to pat yourself in the back. I think we need to do this more. It's so important to uplift each other, like to compliment one another, because they can take you a long way. And for y'all to sit here and say so much beautiful things y'all got going on, I don't want that to go under the grain. Like, that's something y'all should really look at as a blessing, and y'all definitely the first generation that's doing it right now. Thank y'all so much for coming on. And I know some people might want to reach out to y'all in case they want advice or anything that's in the same type of situation as y'all. Y'all could just look at the camera real quick, give them your Instagram handle, that we can wrap up.
okay. All right, I'm Cece. It's as Cece, but it's Cece me. That's CECEBETTA CCME.
Okay.
I'm Geneva. Go by Jen. My Instagram is __ towards greatness, 2 S's.
I'm Drea. You can follow me on Instagram at Drea the Great, DREATHEGREAT _.
Y'all both got great in your name. I like that. That's speaking into existence. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank y'all
you.
for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, and subscribe. See y'all next time. Thank y'all.
Yeah, that was nice.
Right
All right, bring it. Oh, sorry. I was reaching for the water. Yes, y'all lit.
Good job.
1, 2, let's go. Somebody gotta do it. Somebody gotta show you how we living. And come and watch our vision, driven by ambition. Yeah. More than a brand, it's a lifestyle. Didn't take one day, it was a while. Yeah. Through unity, we got victory.
Thank you for watching SGDI Talks. If you like what you just watched, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more exclusive content and an opportunity to feature it on our upcoming episodes. Also, follow us on IG at SGDI Talks. See you next time.